What's up, guys? This one book that I'm going to tell you in this video changed my dating life forever. Now, this book that I read, when I read it in 2019, I was already doing kind of well with women. I was already approaching a lot of them, already getting dates, already linking up with the girls that I wanted to link up with. Now, what this book did is it completely systematized my dating life. See, I was working a really high-paying job. I didn't have time to really do things in the weekdays. So what this book did for me was it allowed me to actually fill my weekends up with dates with women that I actually wanted to be with. All right, so the book that I'm mentioning here, and a book that some of you guys have probably already read, it is so transformational that you're gonna literally change your life after reading this, okay? And make sure you stay to the end of this video because I'm also gonna give 2 bonus books that also are really, really informational and will help your dating life as well. So the book that I read that completely changed my dating life in 2019 actually was How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne. All right, so Corey Wayne is actually another dating coach, and he's really, really good at what he does. I think he makes YouTube videos that are actually really good. And when I first started listening to all this content and really trying to systematize my dating life, he was the one that I kind of went towards because he said it in a different way. So his whole intention when he was making the book is you're going to date in order to get a girlfriend, right? You're going to date because you're actually trying to build something for the future. And he wasn't like a lot of other guys who really just talk about dating just to date, just to have sex. And so there was a structure to your dating life, right? There was a structure to the way you go out on dates. There was a structure to the way you text her and call her. There was a structure to everything. And now in my own life, and the reason why I gravitated towards that so much is because I am like that as well, right? The way that I coach my clients, the way that I live my life, everything is structured, right? And so you can literally have fun within a structure, and that's what it really taught me. So what this book really did for me was it made me understand that the phone is only used to set dates. That was a huge change for me at the time. And so I'm not actually a big texter. I always hated texting. But it was something that you had to do, right, to set up a date. Well, this book flipped that on its head, and I really only started using the phone to really just call women and set dates. And so I would be on the phone with them 5 to 10 minutes, set up the date right there, make a definite date, and then in between the time when I would set the date and the actual date, I actually wouldn't call them, I wouldn't text them at all. And this worked so much better than all the anxiety, all the stress I was putting myself through before of wondering, what should I text her before the date? Should I reach out to her 3 times? Whatever it is, right? And so what this does is that it actually makes a woman see you as way more mysterious and way more valuable. So when she shows up on the date, she has this high interest because you're doing things so much differently than every other guy. Another thing that this book really helped me with was understanding how to make a woman chase. Okay, so after you have this date that goes really well, she sees you as valuable, what do you do? So it teaches you the right cadences to actually reach out to a woman in the first few weeks that you guys are talking to each other. And it also teaches you how to pull back after the 2nd or 3rd date to allow a woman to actually reach out to you, because you have to know where her attraction level is at. And if you don't know where it's at, then you're always going to be the one chasing her, messaging her, reaching out to her first. So this book really helped with that, and it helped me become the kind of guy that literally would get chased by so many women because I just did things different from the average guy. Okay, so this book also helped with a lot of things like understanding what relationships are for, like how relationships are there for you to grow, and not every relationship is going to be you and a woman that you're going to spend your life with. You have to start to look at relationships from a more top-down or zoomed-out angle instead of being so deep in it and feeling like this woman that you're with is going to be the woman that you're going to be with forever. And then something else that this book really helped me with was, I would say, just understanding myself. You know, I don't resonate with everybody's content. I don't even watch content nowadays. And what this made me realize is that there are different ways to date, and there are different ways that are good for everyone. There are some people who are watching this right now who probably won't even read a book, right? You guys probably like videos more. That's how you learn, and that's okay. Me, I was the type of person that I never liked watching videos because I never got anything from it. I never liked entertaining shit like that just to look at it, right? I wanted something that was more tangible, more informational. So literally today, the way that I coach my guys is it's way more hands-on and structured, and way more like, we're gonna do this for you and just get rid of the problems for you, because that's how I learned. And so what this book did for me was it gave me a step-by-step guide to how to actually approach women, how to set up dates, how to actually be on the date, how to be mysterious, and how to set up a relationship. And I literally think it changed my dating life, because in 2019 I went from a guy who had inconsistent dates, even though I was putting up a whole bunch of volume, to where I literally got dates whenever I wanted. My weekends were all filled up. 2019, I started a great relationship with this French girl, 10 out of 10, and literally everything was really going well, right? And so after I read those books, I'm going to give you guys these 2 bonus books that I think you guys should read. And by the way, anybody who's in my program gets these books and a whole lot more, right? Is Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. I think if you read Corey Wayne's How to Be a 3% Man and Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, you literally don't need any other books to have a great dating life. Like, those are the only 2 that you will ever need. All right, but what that book really did for me, Emotional Intelligence, is it taught me how to actually control my own emotions. It taught me how women actually perceive you, and it taught me how to actually react after I've made a logical decision rather than an emotional decision. Now, how many times have you been on a date and you don't know what to say? How many times have you been in a relationship and you're arguing with your woman and you don't even know why, right? What this book really taught me to do was how to pause before I make a response. And so whenever I conversate, women always talk to me about how they love how I always pause and I always keep my cool before I say anything. Because you have to understand that your words hold weight. So if you're speaking from an emotional standpoint, which is what women do, and you're not speaking from a logical standpoint, you're not actually thinking about what you say, then women are going to perceive you as more feminine. So this book really taught me how to, control my emotions, and also how to delay gratification. So delaying gratification, what does that look like on a date, is when you're too quick to try to flirt, you're too quick to try to compliment, you're too quick to try to get her home that night. You're not waiting for the right times to actually ask to go home with her, or ask her to come to your place. You're not waiting for the right times to touch her. You're waiting for literally right when you get on the date to touch her, right? You're not delaying gratification. And women can sense that. They see that as desperation. So what I started to do was literally just calm down, right? I started to understand that there were the right moments to actually get what I wanted. And when you combine Corey Wayne's book and you combine this book, your dating life literally just explodes. It becomes crazy. So the third book that I think every man should read, especially if they're getting into a marriage or a long-term relationship, is Practical Female Psychology by David Clare. So this book, honestly, when I read it, it was like 2021. My dating life actually got worse. And the reason why is because this book is more so teaching you about how women actually think. And it goes super deep. And when you actually read it and you internalize it, you're like, damn, these girls only want me to have a kid and like to have security. And like, they're trying to make me into a beta male and get my attention so then I can provide for them in the future. And so when you're going out on dates, you kind of start looking at them like, what the fuck? Like, you start looking at women differently. Your energy is kind of different. But the reason why I think every man should read this book is because eventually when you're in a relationship, you need this knowledge. You need to understand how women think. You need to understand how women try to play you sometimes. You need to understand what to do in an argument. You need to understand why having a child is the most important thing for a woman, right? And how women, most women, can never actually love you, but they love what you do for them. All right, so these 3 books, combine all 3 of them, and you have a great, well-rounded knowledge base to work from in your dating life and in your eventual relationship. All right, thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you guys think of those books, if you guys have read it before or anything like that, and I'll see you guys on the next one.